And we're live. Let's get right into the intro as soon as I find it. Where is he? Okay, so it is the Roto Hackers podcast. My name is Judah Buddha. I'm here with AJ Herschel, the kid, and it's Jared. And we are the absolute stud. And we are talking fantasy football. We are your unauthorized source of all things fantasy football. And a lot of news, guys. A lot of news. How are you guys doing, by the way?
Doing better than chunks of my fantasy rosters, like just lots of like IR out, questionable.
It's crazy. I know we say this every year, but doesn't it feel like there's just a lot of some of the main names?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Man.
Mm-hmm. When speaking of main names being out in a league, which actually our first commenter, Caben Bauer, saying "Let's go." I'm in a couple leagues with him. One of the leagues I'm in, somebody dropped David Montgomery on Tuesday. So yeah, he's just sitting on my IR right now. Just swapped him out for Gus Edwards. Worked out pretty well. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Is this a keeper league? Well, I guess he's supposed to come back next week, right, or something like that. Or when is he supposed to come back?
3 to 5. It's inconclusive right now. He's not coming back next week because it's only been 2 weeks, but he's going to be back relatively soon. So
he will be back. We know that he will be back. Well, let's get right into the news because there was a lot of it.
News in the NFL today.
So the big news is that Christian McCaffrey's put on IR, which is interesting. I don't know how IR works really, but it seems like they should have just put him on IR to start with. I guess they thought it was minor, and maybe he had a big setback because it seemed like he was out there practicing and stuff a couple days ago, and now it's like boom, definitely 3 more weeks, right?
Yep.
So is that he's already been out 2 weeks and that'll be 5?
Yeah, I think it counts this week. So I guess it'll be because I think they said, well, whatever. I think they said he would be eligible to return against the Patriots. So whatever week that is the week he can be back. I don't know if that's week 9, maybe.
It's week 9, yeah.
And so the big implications here, well, obviously, if you have CMC, for some people, you get to put them on IR. I think everybody was able to, that I can tell.
Yeah.
But
just made it frustrating every Tuesday morning when Matt Rule would say, it's 50-50 to play. We'll put him on questionable. And, oh, great, you can't pick up anybody.
Right. So that does help. Awesome. That helps a little bit, right?
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Just put them soundly down there on IR and let them rest.
Yeah.
Now, how are you guys feeling about some Chuba Hubbard? Jared, you like some Chuba Hubbard?
I do, yeah. He seems to have been. He's from the start gotten the bulk of the carries. He looked good in the preseason. He had a big jump last week. He went to 24 carries after 13 against Dallas. Of course, I think in that Dallas game they were playing catch up a lot of the time, so didn't have as much of an opportunity to run the ball. But yeah, the schedule: Minnesota, the Giants, the Falcons. That's not intimidating. So, it's not the same as having CMC. But if you do have Hubbard, it's something. So he's a featured running back. So
were you guys able to pick him up anywhere?
Yeah, I have him in some leagues. I don't know how many leagues I have him in, but yeah, I have him in like maybe four leagues or something like that. 5, I guess. And so, but those don't all overlap with the ones where I have CMC, you know. So, well, I don't know if it's good or bad, but yeah, there's a couple where I don't have him where, you know, I've got CMC, but one of them, it's already like that team's already in rough shape. So I don't know that it really matters there. So
what were you going to say, AJ?
I was going to say the other thing about Chuba that makes it look great, Chuba, however you pronounce it, that makes it look great for the next few weeks. He gets Minnesota, New York, and Atlanta for his next 3 weeks. And then once CMC comes back, if he immediately starts, he's the one who gets to play New England, Arizona, and Washington instead. So this is like, you couldn't ask for a better 3-game stretch as a backup running back.
I think that's kind of what Jared was saying earlier, right? The schedule. All right. But to put a point on it, looks he's gonna have a real sweet schedule. Now, the other thing, there's 2 other things that came out in the news that were sort of groundbreaking, and that was that Damian Williams has the COVID and he is out. Now, really quick, am I crazy for thinking that there's just way more COVID cases this year than last year?
Maybe so. Yeah, I feel like we had teams last year where there would just be whole outbreaks, you know, of teams. It seems like this year it's been, you know, more limited to a couple of players at a time, and I don't know how.
I think last year they didn't know. I mean, if 2 people had it, the whole team, right?
They had
have to get shut down.
Right. Some of that's related to quarantine policies and procedures, and I don't know how. I don't remember how those were last year as opposed to this year. But yeah, I think I mean, we could always go back and probably check that to see, but I think we've had significantly less. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just, you know.
Oh, you're saying significantly less this year? I think it felt to me like significantly more.
Well, I mean, last year, you know, again, some of that may be related to the quarantine policies and procedures, but, you know, I don't know that we've had any, like last year, you know, we were constantly going like, okay, is this game going to get played? It's going to get moved back a couple of days. It's getting moved back another day. There was a Tuesday night game. Are they going to have enough, you know, are they going to have a quarterback to start here or what? So it seems like this year, I mean, you know, we have a player or 2 here and there that will test positive, but I think the difference I've noticed is just in not worrying to this point about games getting postponed or shut down or whatever. So,
well, so you guys feeling a little better about my man Khalil now? What do you guys think? You think he will? What's funny is I loved Khalil until it came time to put him. I have him a lot of places because I went out and I just had a feeling about him. I went and picked him up. But now that I got to put him in the lineup, I'm like, play the Bears running back, 3rd string running back. Because like I have one place where it's either Chuba or Khalil, and I'm like, I'm playing Chuba.
Yeah,
that's not even a question.
Oh yeah.
But then I have another place. So the other place that I have a question is, what's his name? For the running back for Las Vegas,
Josh Jacobs.
Jacobs. Yeah. So Josh Jacobs or Khalil Herbert, and that's a little harder.
Yeah. Jacobs has Denver, and I think they're like top 5.
I think they're like number 1 or 2.
Against the run. Yeah. So that is tougher. Yeah.
Yeah. So. I don't know. So, were you guys able to pick him up anywhere?
Yeah. That was one of the McCaffrey ones where he got out, and someone had already picked up Chuba, so I grabbed Herbert, and also related to another injury I had. with Chubb going out, I had to get a running back too. And I was like, well, this is my emergency running back, Khalil Herbert. There we go. Please get 1 touchdown against Green Bay. Oh, it's going to be fun.
That's the other thing. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say my lineups, benches at least, and usually lineups, have a pretty solid mix of backups where I've got some Alex Collins, I've got some Herbert, I've got some Devontae Booker, Chuba, of course, just having to roll guys in. Yeah, because, you look at all the guys, even just like first-round picks that are out, Saquon, McCaffrey, Chubb is out this week.
Yeah, that's the other I was going to bring up. Chubb out. Yeah. Where did that come from?
Yeah. Cook looks like he'll be back after having missed 2 out of 3 weeks. But, you look at all these guys that were first-round picks that have missed, just multiple weeks already.
Well, how are you guys feeling? Speaking of Chubb being out, how do you guys feel about Felton? I've been putting him in and out of my lineup all year because he's getting significant, not a lot of snaps, but he's getting significant snaps ahead of Johnson, I think. And he's got that dual. I love those dual designations. Wide receiver, running back, and he with what's his name? Who was with the wide receiver out? What's his name? Landry. With Landry out.
Yeah, still out.
He sort of took this step that I noticed, and so now I'm kind of wondering if he might get more. I put him in my starting lineup in our Lister League because I just got nothing. So what do you guys think? Is he worth a pickup?
A pickup is tough because, with Booker and Chuba and Williams and Herbert, their running backs were all going to be out for multiple weeks. Chubb's doesn't at least appear to be a multiple week thing. And personally, I think this is going to be a big Hunt game because we've seen Hunt blow up in certain games in Chubb's absence. And even with Chubb here, he's had I think 2 20-point games so far this year.
I think he actually does better when Chubb is in.
He definitely does because they get to spell each other as well, and then Hunt comes in more passing wise. But I think Hunt's going to get the majority of the carries. Felton, it's a little too much of a risk for me. Like Herbert, I at least understood last week. Chuba, I get. Booker, obviously, because Saquon's gone down, but that's a little bit of a reach for me.
Well, the other reason is that Hunt's banged up.
Yeah,
he's got a wrist and a knee. What do you think, Jared? Felton worth a slip away for a while?
Sure, maybe. If you're especially in a deeper league, maybe 10-team league. I think that's a little tougher. It's a little tougher to do in 10-team leagues. So,
I think he's definitely something to keep an eye on. Now, there was other news. Darrell Williams, we knew he was going to start, and then is Daryl Williams is he better than all these replacement guys? Booker, Herbert.
Sorry, Jerry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, he's more of a, he's more of a long-term play at the least, because Herbert, we assume, is probably going to be not exactly a 1-week thing, but Damian Williams comes back and then that sort of limits him a little bit more. Booker and Saquon, we don't really know Saquon's situation there. But Booker has a tough start at least to which he did well last week coming in for Saquon, but in his first game as a starter, he gets a tough game with the Rams, and then we don't know after that. So I like Williams better just because he's going to be getting multiple weeks in there in terms of actual production. He's in the Kansas City offense too, so that doesn't hurt. So Yeah, it's hard for me to not like him. And their schedule is not bad for the next 3 weeks either. Washington, Tennessee, and the Giants. So,
What do you think, AJ? How do you sort of rank all these replacement guys?
Booker, I think, is the best for long-term value and just amount that the Giants use him and use their running backs and receiving and rushing with Damien or whichever Damien it is who plays for the Chiefs probably is my number 2. They are very close to each other.
Darrell Williams?
Daryl Williams. Thank you. The other Williams. It's because Damien Williams on the Chiefs and always messing me up. Daryl Williams. Yeah. I don't particularly love Booker's matchup this week against the Rams, so that could be a bad spot. So if I had to choose between him for this week, it would definitely be Daryl Williams. And like Jared said, I think Herbert and Damien Williams are going to be a little bit harder to play long term as well. And I don't love Herbert's matchup this week against Green Bay because I don't love Chicago against Green Bay this week. So I like Herbert enough. I think he can get a touchdown this week, maybe finish with a solid, I don't know, somewhere between 7 to 12 points. But I don't think he breaks it big like I think Daryl or Booker could this week. Or Chuba with his game against Minnesota.
Yeah, Chuba's number 1, right?
Yeah, for me.
Over Daryl? For you, Jared?
Yeah, just because of the volume he's going to get.
Yeah.
Now, on the wide receiver front, I want to get to the comments, but on the wide receiver front, I did want to bring up Deandre Carter, somebody who may be getting overlooked with McLaurin getting banged up in practice or somewhere. He may or may not play, but it looks like he's trending towards playing. But Carter got a lot more looks and passes last week, and is somebody who's sort of coming on with a terrible defense on the Chiefs side. So it might be somebody to pick up if you really need a wide receiver. Somebody I kind of felt was like a diamond in the rough for me. I think he may have I'm not saying he's going to be, like a McLaurin replacement or anything as far as points wise, but I think he'll might be able to get you double digits with the touchdown. Do you guys have any sleeper waiver wires that you've thought about it? It came up during, sometimes Saturdays you can pick up some people that might help.
I mean, this is just more of a public service announcement, but for those people who just kind of grab a kicker and stick them in until their bye week, Rodrigo's on IR. Yeah. So he's going to be done for 3 weeks. So that's another one you might need to go switch him out with. Prater's probably gone most places, but you can find maybe Jason Sanders, Matt Gay, Brandon McManus is a good matchup this week.
Who's his replacement? I think he's not too bad.
I can't remember. Is it the punter? Jared, you know more than me.
They signed the former Chargers kicker. I think it's Bagley to the
Marvin Bagley.
Let's see. Well, it's hang on. What is
Michael Bagley?
Michael Bagley, I think. Yeah. They signed him, which is, it's interesting. The Colts have had like 3 good kickers over the last couple of years. They had Chase McLaughlin, and then they chose Rodrigo over him, and then they had Eddie Pinheiro in camp, who was the former Bears kicker, and he actually was doing great for him. And so it's kind of unfortunate for the Colts that they've had 3 good kickers, and they chose the one that then now has gotten hurt for a few games. But I mean, I like Rodrigo still, so I mean, you never know how injuries are going to go. But I liked McLaughlin too a lot, and the Browns now have him. Let's see what percentage McLaughlin's owned, because I think he's a good pick. Yeah, he's only 29% rostered, and so he's only had his first week. He only had 3 points, but that was against Kansas City, where obviously the Browns are going to need to score touchdowns. They can't settle for a lot of field goals. So after that, he's had 7 points, 19 points, 9 points, 10 points. He's a good option. Another one that, AJ and I have both mentioned before is the Vikings kicker, Greg Joseph, who's only 21% rostered. He had one bad week against Cleveland where he only had 1 point, but other than that, he's had 8, 13, 13, 17. So there are good kickers out there, and ones that probably should be rostered more than some other guys like Harrison Butker. 3 out of his he's everybody owns him because he's a name. He's 98% rostered, but 3 out of 5 weeks he's been at 6 points or fewer, and those 2 weeks that he was above that, he just barely clipped double digits at 10. So for me, I wouldn't if he was even available, I would choose somebody else over him because the Chiefs just score too many touchdowns.
Okay, and I think they have oddly they don't have a lot of time, especially with their running back problem. They don't have a lot of time on the field offense wise. All right, so let's go to the comments. Justin says, "What's up, my guys? What's up, Justin?" He says, "Woods, Tony, or Julio start one PPR." I'm going to go with Woods, but Woods and Tony to me are pretty close. Julio, I have no idea. Yeah. I'd rather watch and see what he does. Well, how do you guys feel, Jared?
Same. I just Kadarius Toney did end up blowing up last week, so good call on that. I think AJ was plugging him. So I still don't know if that's gonna hold or not. I mean, the Giants have. I mean, he looked really good. He looks like somebody that they need to get the ball to a lot. But at the same time, you just don't know with how that. I mean, Sterling Shepard's coming back. They've got Galladay. Slayton will be back eventually. There's Barkley will be back. So Ingram, you got all these different guys, and I just don't know with him being a rookie. Is it really going to hold like that? It's not quite like OBJ's rookie year with the Giants where they just he was able to kind of surpass some of these other guys. I would go with Woods too, because I don't know how it's gonna look for Tony, and then Julio. Who knows with the Titans offense right now?
Into the woods for all three of us.
Into the woods.
I don't like Tony Potter. Whoever's going for the Giants. I don't know who Ramsey's going to be on. I don't like that matchup. The Giants could score 5 points that game. Woods. I'd go Woods.
All right. What about this next question? Is DJ Moore a top 7 to 9 wide receiver for the rest of the season?
He is for me. I'll make mine short. He's. I mean, I know he just had a down game, but he still had like 7 targets. The fact that CMC's out for 3 more games doesn't hurt anything. So I'm a believer in DJ Moore.
Same here.
Although, doesn't it kind of seem like he did better when CMC was in? I mean, that's my feeling. I'd have to look at it. But I think even that Houston game where, I mean, he had his best game 2 weeks ago against Dallas while CMC was out. His game against Houston was his second best game. So he's coming off of a bad week, but otherwise his best games had come while CMC was out. So okay. Yeah, I'm a little wary. I just have always been a DJ Moore hater. You guys like him though, right?
Yeah.
It's overhyped. I guess he's been hyped for 3 years now, and finally he's coming on this year. He really is. But
for now, Judah's gonna keep playing OBJ over him.
No.
Hey,
that dream is dead.
If you've got any spots where you need to swap out OBJ for somebody else, T.Y. Hilton's going to be back maybe this week, so you could that'd probably be a better option.
I forgot to ask you about that. I do have him in the listener league, and I may need to use him. Now I do have OBJ too in that league. he's typically a Houston killer. He always comes on and plays huge against Houston. Do you think he's gonna have a blub game on his game back?
I don't know. It just seems to be clockwork. I don't know.
Yep.
It helps Wentz, right?
Oh yeah. I may actually start Carson Wentz in a league because just a league where I didn't get a good quarterback, and then the other options this week aren't great for streaming. Wentz looked pretty good last week, and getting T.Y. Hilton back doesn't hurt. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I looked at Heineke too. Great play this now without McLaurin. It's going to be iffy, but playing against that offense, they're playing against that offense and against that defense, but playing, should be a high scoring game, right?
Is McLaurin out?
He's questionable.
I don't know.
I thought.
He's questionable.
Yeah.
He's not. He's trending towards being in, from what I could tell.
Interesting.
All right, OBJ, Melvin Gordon, Knox, and TJ Hawkinson. So start two. I think Melvin Gordon's banged up.
He's always banged up.
Yeah, he is.
Comes to training camp banged up.
Man, I probably now, since I'm getting off of the OBJ train, he's probably gonna go off. But I love Knox, and I think Hawkins' season probably gets off the schneid. What do you guys think? AJ.
It feels so weird thinking, hey, yes, you have a wide receiver, a running back, and 2 tight ends. Let's go with the tight ends. That feels so weird to me, but Gordon's getting vultured more and more by Javonte. Don't trust Odell and don't trust Baker to get it to him. Not slight to Baker, but just that he just spreads it out way too much for Odell's own good.
I think that he tries to get it to they just are not on the same page.
Yeah.
He's not OBJ's right here, the ball comes over here.
Knox and Hawkinson, I guess. As much as either that or Knox and Gordon, maybe. Who do the Lions get this week? I can't remember.
The Lions get the Bengals, and they've allowed the 5th fewest points to tight ends. So
that's probably OBJ and Knox.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think it's Knox and Gordon for me. I don't love Gordon, and even Knox feels like he's had so many good weeks. He's due for a down game, so I don't really love any of those options. But I think you got to go with Knox since he's been the one player who has been doing well. Yeah. And then maybe Gordon, just hoping. I don't know. He's got a couple of ailments, so it's kind of iffy. But if he does play, Las Vegas defense is bottom 9 against the against the run. So I would maybe go that way.
This just in, big news for the listener league. McCaffrey going to Fitzmagic.
Whoa, what?
In a trade for Henderson. Darrell Henderson.
Huh?
I might vote against that, but I don't know. I'd rather have Henderson for the next 3 weeks.
What?
Who's the intellectual madman? I don't
that's
know
Anthony.
Anthony.
Is Fitzmagic just stacked at running back or something?
Fitzmagic is getting CMC.
CMC. Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. If he stacked a running back, maybe he could give up Daryl, but that is confusing.
Yeah, this is an interesting trade because Anthony is 5-0. So you'd think he would be in a good position to weather the absence of CMC, but at the same time, he's also without David Montgomery, so he's he does have Damian Williams, but it is kind of strange because then you have Fitzmagic, who's 3-2, he's still above 500. Thomas H, loyal listener Thomas H.
Yeah.
But you'd think that trade would be reversed, where the guy who's 5-0 would be like, I can wait out for a while. I'm 5-0. I can hang on to CMC. But maybe he's even iffier about CMC's health than I am, because I mean, like I said before, last year we just saw where the Panthers just strung people along, like, he might be back. I don't know, he might. Just kidding, suckers, he's gone. So
Yep.
So much. Well, AJ, do you have to leave? You want to?
On which one again?
On the trade?
I'm confused.
I don't think it's unfair. I mean, because you're taking a risk, either way.
See, here's the thing. I was in this exact same spot last year when live on the channel, Ben offered me CMC for Kenyon Drake, and somehow he won that trade because CMC didn't play. So
that's a good point. Do you want to take one more question?
Sure, I can get one more and then I gotta go.
All right, Drew Venno says, "What's good, fellas?" And
What's
then
up?
Justin says, Murray, Melvin Gordon, or Bateman start one. Justin, what are you doing to us here?
How are you in a 13-team league or something?
14?
No, 13. That's how abnormal this is. One of them is a computer team.
I don't know. Flip a coin, roll a dice. I don't know.
I mean, probably.
Melvin Gordon? What do you think? What did you say, Jared?
Yeah, I mean, probably not Bateman. And is he even? He is expected to play Sunday, but I mean, I wouldn't play him in his first game, and Rams giving up the second fewest points to wide receivers. I would have, a week ago, I would have said Murray, but then all of a sudden he got next to nothing. So I don't know. I mean, I guess he's still going to get the goal line carries, maybe. So I might be inclined to say Murray. You got to hope that gives you a touchdown. But with Gordon being hurt, I would say Murray 10
okay. AJ?
Bateman's actually going up against the Chargers. Murray and Bateman are going up against the Chargers, and I don't know how much I like that matchup for either of them. I'd go either Murray or Gordon for sure. And the Raiders did just get torched on the ground by Chicago. They ran it 36 times for 200 yards, 150, 170 yards between Williams and Herbert. So I'll say Murray because I feel like he has the most potential to get a touchdown out of the three of them. But Melvin Gordon and Javonte could have a shockingly good game this week.
That's true.
I'll say that much. Yeah. All right. I got to go, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Wish I could stay longer. I will see you guys Monday or Tuesday or whenever.
All right. We'll keep in touch tomorrow.
All right. See ya.
All right. Bye. Okay. Well, let's continue on. You and I'd kind of like to keep it short myself, but let's see. Pittman or AJ Brown, PPR. Man, it's hard to trust AJ Brown at this point, right?
I mean, he's gonna, you assume, have a breakout game sometime, but when's that gonna come? I mean,
do you think Pittman's gonna get affected by what's his name coming back? Ty?
Yeah. I mean, quite possibly to some extent, but AJ Brown just to this point, he had 12.9 points in week 1. That was just from getting a touchdown because he had 4 for 49 yards. Every other week, it's just been, nada. He's failed to hit 50 yards receiving so far. He's failed to get 5 catches so far. Buffalo, and on top of that, Buffalo has given up the fewest points to wide receivers. This season. So
forget that.
I don't know that it's gonna come this week. Maybe next week against the Chiefs.
Ooh, yeah.
That they're going to have to. Well, I don't know if they're going to have to throw the ball. They may run it more than ever just to try to keep the ball away from the Chiefs. But yeah, I mean, they're probably going to have to throw the ball against Buffalo. So you could look at it that way. But Buffalo's again giving up the fewest. So
yeah,
I don't want to bank on him getting his breakout game this week.
I agree. Let's go, Pittman. Pick 2, no tight end league. Julio Jones, Mark Andrews, Kadarius Toney. I mean, for what you just said, I'm definitely not going Julio Jones. Mark Andrews, I mean, he did all right last week, did real well, and Toney could have another blow up game. I am worried about Sterling Shepard coming back, and you know, I don't know what that's going to look like with him playing, and with I don't know. I might go if you got to pick 2 though. Why not go Andrews and Toney? What do you think?
Same, I guess. Yeah, Andrews for sure. The Chargers haven't defended tight ends well, and I don't know what's going on with Julio and the Titans, but yeah, I think I would stick with Toney.
Ryan Ensons, what's up, guys? What's up, Ryan? Good to have you in the chat. Good to have all you guys. This is great. Bruisin says, I guess Bruisin good to have you, by the way. Should I trade Joe Mixon and Jonathan Taylor for CMC, Miles Sanders, and AJ Brown? I wouldn't. No. I wouldn't. I mean, you got 2, productive running backs. 2, top 2, or 2 round for round 1 and round 2 versus these guys who are marginally good and a injured guy for the next 3 weeks. It depends on your if you're 5-0, boom, do it. I'd say, but
there's no scenario where I do this trade. No type of league, nothing. Because you've got. In Jonathan Taylor, you've got, a guy who's one of the few so far, hopefully I'm not jinxing him, few healthy first round running back picks, he's doing well, even with Indy's line banged up. He had a couple of tough games. One was against the Rams. But the past 2 weeks he's had 19 points and 30 points. His schedule is not bad. Houston, San Francisco, Tennessee, Jets, Jaguars coming up. I know Mixon stays banged up a little bit, but Miles Sanders you can't trust. AJ Brown, again, I don't know what's going to happen with the Titans offense this season, apart from Derrick Henry still running over people, because they lost their offensive coordinator, to the Falcons to become the head coach of the Falcons. He used play action really effectively. That's what really rejuvenated Tannehill's career. And I don't know if that's going to, maybe if they start, going back to more play action and doing it effectively, but you're trading at minimum Taylor, who is by far the most solid bankable guy in this situation, and Mixon, who's the second most bankable guy. Even though Mixon has his injury problems, for CMC, who's out a minimum of 3 more weeks. And again, we saw what happened last year where this just lingered on and on. Miles Sanders, who
he had I think he had 6 carries.
I think he finally got a touchdown last week.
Yesterday, or Thursday.
Thursday, yeah, maybe he didn't. Maybe that was somebody else.
I don't think he did.
So Miles Sanders, after week 1, has been like hovering at 6 or 7 points every week. 6.4, 7, 6.2, 7.6, 7.6, just every week. And so he's getting single digit carries, no touchdowns. So
I think he might have Thursday. He might have. I saw the game. He did better.
No, he only had 7.6 points. So he didn't, and he had 56 yards, so he couldn't have had a touchdown.
Yeah.
So he can't He can't be relied on. The only reason that he should even be on anybody's roster is because he's technically a starting running back. Should never be starting at this point. And then, and then I talked about AJ Brown. So this is a hard pass for me.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. Let's get to the chopper.
Yeah.
Last week after you left, I tried playing I tried downloading the Get to the Chopper, the whole thing, and then I play it, and it's like half the movie. It was just this long, drawn out clip. I was like, man, I forgot to cut it. All right, so don't really have any questions today because I have so many injuries. I'm sorry, Ryan, that I'm starting whoever is not dead in 3 of my leagues. Yeah, I mean, it's not just injuries, right? It's the bye week is taking a lot of people out too.
That's the other thing. Yeah, because I've got Kamara. Because there's a league where Carson's out, and gosh, I don't know. I've got
Carson went on the IR too. We forgot to talk about that.
Yeah, Carson's on the IR. So I picked up Alex Collins in a bunch of places because it's it's 3 games. You're guaranteed to have him for 3 games. So yeah, that's a tough spot.
It wasn't great, though. I'll be honest. I picked him up, too, but I wasn't exactly excited by his usage on Monday night. Was it Monday night or Sunday night?
I mean, he still got, what did he get? Didn't he get, 14 carries or something like that? I mean, the Seahawks offense is going to be – he had 15 carries. Only had 47 yards, but he had 8.2 points because I guess he had some in the passing game too. Mm-hmm. The trouble with the Seahawks offense is going to be the fact that they're also missing their quarterback. You've got Geno Smith in there and stuff. So it is not ideal, but at this point, he's the best option I have for a number 2 running back in some leagues.
I mean, here's the thing: it's not ideal. Is way better than a lot of these waiver wires I'm looking at. There's just like a barren wasteland for running backs.
Yeah.
Vano says, I feel your pain. Yeah, it's tough. Khalil or Melvin Gordon this week? I played Khalil. I played Khalil. What
Same.
would you? Yeah.
Same.
Bassman, Fat. Yeah. We know. Yeah. He's saying, so he was asking the question. Yeah. Boss Man Fat. What up, Boss Man Fat? Okay, let's see. I don't think Darrell Williams. No, he's got COVID.
He's talking about. He must be talking about Damian.
Damian has COVID. Darrell is playing. If you have Darrell, play Darrell. I think we were talking about this, right? Darrell over Khalil.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough one, but I would play Darrell. Yeah.
Yeah, but Damian Williams is not playing. He's out. He has the COVID, and he will not be able to play maybe until next week, depending on how his symptoms go. Kadarius Toney production will A, disappear when everyone is healthy, B, stay when everybody is healthy, or C, stay because I'm not sure what this roster if this roster even gets healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I go with I'd probably C. I have no idea. This roster seems to be like a game of musical chairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. He makes a good point because think about how often Sterling Shepard's banged up. Think about how often Evan Ingram's banged up. Think about how often Saquon's out.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Golladay, who came over, he was out most of last year. I mean, I think Kadarius is. The more we talk about it, the more I'm thinking like Kadarius could be a good rest of season play.
Did you pick him up on any waiver wires? I didn't. I couldn't bring myself to pick him up.
I put some claims in for him behind some of those running backs, and so I basically either got one of those running backs or nothing. Because everybody was in on Toney, and I did end up trading for him in a league because I sent you that trade that I made.
It's a good trade. You got.
Yeah, let me look back and see because now
Taylor. You got Taylor and Toney, right?
I got. It was an interesting trade. Yeah, I got Taylor, Jonathan Taylor, Kadarius Toney, and Dawson Knox. And I gave up Mixon, Marquis Mike Gesicki and Keenan Allen, and Keenan Allen was my fourth wide receiver. And so I felt like as an upgrade from Mixon to Taylor, an upgrade from Gesicki to Knox. And yeah, I'm, potentially downgrading from Keenan Allen to Kadarius Toney. We'll see. But regardless, it was my fourth wide receiver. So, not a big deal. So I like that.
I think especially for what you were trying to do, I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
Now I say that against my hatred of, I don't know why I hate Taylor, but I just, I don't like him. I don't have him anymore. I just don't want him. But it's irrational. Maybe. There was something about the committee, but it really has turned out to not be a committee.
Right.
You know what I think it is? It's because of my love for who's the guy behind him, the little scat back.
Nyheim Hines.
Yes, Hines. I love Hines. I wanted him so much to break out, and he did for a couple of games. Okay, is it time to panic on A-Rob? Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. It is time to panic. I came this close to dropping him this week. I
don't know if I did drop it. I might have dropped him in the only league I have him. I'll have to look back and see. But I just, as good as he is, the quarterback situation is so shaky. Yeah, I did. I dropped him in the only league.
Do you know, I was looking at it. I think Justin, what's his name? Fields has only had he's only had a total of 500 yards of offense since he's played or something like that. It's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not throwing the ball a whole lot. There's just limited opportunities there. He's thrown it 20 times max in a game. So, he's their best option. I don't know, between, his running ability, but he's not Allen Robinson's best option. Allen Robinson doesn't have a great option on that team. Maybe Foles would be the best option for
you're right.
Robinson.
It probably would be Foles. Now let's see. He says they're playing. This is the reason I didn't drop him, because he's playing the Packers. They have just a banged up secondary, and then they're playing the Bucks, who have allowed a lot of offense on that from that secondary. So, it could do well, but he's not going to do it in my starting lineup. I'll tell you that much. Greg the Leg is my kicker. He's solid. He's missed more than he has in the past, but he's been all right?
Yeah, I was looking up to see just what he had done this year. I think he has been solid. 3 out of 5 weeks he's been in double digits. He had a couple of weeks of 5 and 6 points. Not my favorite option, but you can still, I think, justify him as a top 10 starting kicker.
Should I trade CeeDee Lamb for Keenan Allen? I wouldn't. To me, it's kind of a wash, but CeeDee, I think, just has a lot higher ceiling.
Yeah, same. Keenan's getting more targets still, but Mike Williams is kind of taken over as the big play receiver in that offense. Keenan's hitting double digits in targets every week, and he's almost, and then he's hitting double digits in fantasy points almost every week. But
Mike Williams is injured, or he's banged up. I think he's still going to play
a little bit. Yeah. I think like you said, it's almost a wash there.
Let's see. Sorry, I skipped them. Joey, thanks for coming and participating, watching. Need 2 wide receivers for this weekend. I got Woods, Sutton, Claypool, and Marvin Jones. What? Igor Hubbard at flex. Igor.
I think. I'm not sure what he was trying to say there. Right? I'm not sure what he was trying to say there with the IG or LG there. But I'm thinking. I'm wondering if
Hubbard.
If he started to say something or Hubbard at flex.
Yeah. I'd play Hubbard over. I'd probably play Woods or Sutton. But how do you feel about Claypool at this point?
I like Claypool rest of the season. Claypool is actually a guy I've tried to trade for in several leagues, even though I already have Deontay in a lot of them. So I'm iffy about starting both. But the thing I like about Claypool is now Juju being out for the rest of the season opens up some more for Claypool. I know Pittsburgh is not the best offense, and it's just kind of right now dependent on Najee Harris pretty heavily, but they got to throw the ball some. And with Juju being out, I think more targets will come Claypool's way. So I like Claypool, and I'm trying to get him where I can because he's just cheap, and I think he'll return better value than what you might have to give up for him right now.
I agree. Well, in this case, would you play him over Sutton, Woods, or Hubbard?
So he needs 2 wide receivers, and he's asking about the flex question. I would leave Hubbard in flex. And then, for the 2 wide receivers, I would play Woods and Claypool, I think. Sutton, it's kind of tough because he's kind of boom or bust. He's like throwing down either 6 or 20. I think the past 4 weeks, it literally has been either 6 point something points or 20, and it's been split 2 times between each.
They're playing the Raiders, who have had a pretty stout defense.
Surprisingly pretty good against the pass. Yeah. So it'd be Woods and Claypool for me.
I like that. Yeah. This Roto Hackers listener is looking for a championship this year. Cademan. So he's beat me, you, and AJ, and now he's playing the enemy, the adversary, Jonathan Buster. So we'll see if you can take down Jonathan Buster. More power to you. I hope you get it, buddy. Send me trades in the listener league. All right. Who do you get to you just told me everybody's dead or on IR, man. I don't know. Kevin says, "What's up, Justin?" Greg the Leg. I'm still talking about Greg the Leg. I've never seen so much.
It's a lot of love. It's a lot of love for Greg the Leg. Yeah.
Justin says, "What's up? Have lots of buys and injured Bo. Yeah, injured Bo. Yeah, he's out. Peace out. Jamal Williams or Alex Collins. Ooh, I think Jamal Williams may be out, so I'd go with Alex Collins if Jamal is out. But at this point, it's still questionable. I could effort that for you, but it looks like he may be out.
I think he's probably going to play. I haven't
you think
heard
so?
I mean, you can check and see. I haven't heard anything that made it sound like, because I think for a couple of weeks they've just listed him and Swift as questionable. I was just looking to see who all Ryan had.
Does he have anybody tradable?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, for all of his, his main injury was CEH. So he's actually got a fairly healthy lineup there. That's kind of tough. I would probably go Collins just because he's going to get the volume.
So Lions injury report, this is 2 days ago, though. Jamal Williams sits out 3. So he sat out a couple of I haven't seen any recent reports about Jamal Williams. He sat out Friday or Thursday. I don't know. You have to effort that. See if he's going to play. So you'd play Jamal if he plays, right?
I'd probably play Collins.
Really?
I just don't know. Yeah. Because yeah.
That's a good call. Let's just go Collins. All right. Would you start Shepard, Odell? Oh man, why you guys got to do this to me?
I think Shepard for me. I can't trust Odell.
I'm going back to the well. Go Odell. No, don't. It'll destroy you. It's destroyed me. Yeah, probably Shepard. All right, bro. I got Wilson, Chubb. This is mentality. Wilson, Chubb, McCaffrey, Logan Thomas, Ridley, and Damian Williams. Oh no. Imagine how like excited he was about this team.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year. I mean, the first week, this team was like, mwah, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They all had, well, maybe not Ridley, or Damian Williams, but it was looking great.
Mm-hmm.
And they are all out this week. And many of them. So Wilson, Chubb, and Logan aren't coming back till what, week 10?
I don't know how all the timelines fall, but it's maybe week 9 or so on some of these guys, at least week 8.
Hi, do I trade Brady, Derrick Henry, and Tony for Lamar, Aaron Jones, and Josh Jacobs? No. Why? What's the upside here?
No. Brady's more consistent than Lamar. Derrick Henry is basically the best probably player in fantasy, at least the best running back.
Oh yeah.
And Aaron Jones is kind of trending down a little bit because they're giving more carries to Dylan, and some of that may have been injury related. But I'm not sure that Dylan hasn't shown enough to then keep a bigger share of the carries like Jamal Williams did. So I think it may, even though it looked like it might be more of a, Aaron Jones, unleash Aaron Jones year. Now looks like it's kind of starting to go back to, sort of a 1A, 1B sort of thing with Dylan being that 1B. Jacobs is okay as like an RB3, RB2 in a pinch, but he's fairly touchdown dependent. He's not exactly blowing up for a bunch of yards or anything.
What do you think about this? I'd try trading Tony for Jacobs. Just see if they'll do Tony for Jacobs straight up, because you can replace your wide receiver because he says he's RB needy.
Oh, okay.
So try doing that. I mean, if you're RB needy, hold on to Derrick Henry with all your might, man, and just fill it in with Khalid, Herbert, and all these.
Yeah.
There's going to be more. Make sure you get Derrick Henry's backup, McNichols, and look at the other guy, Sargent, because McNichols a little banged up too.
Yeah,
and just get these waiver wire guys to fill in your second running back, don't you think?
Yeah, because Derrick Henry can score enough for 2 running backs sometimes. So I would not trade him unless I was getting, it would take me getting a first and second round type talent in order to give him up. Like if you're RB needy and somebody was willing to give up, like a Chubb and I don't know, like Jonathan Taylor and Kareem Hunt, or Chubb
Mixon,
and Aaron,
Mixon.
Yeah, maybe, or Chubb and Aaron Jones. I would have to get like 2 first, like one who's like a first round type guy, and I got one who's like a second round type guy in order to give up Derrick Henry.
Oh, to give up Derrick Henry, yeah, I'd have to get a lot. Yeah. I mean, I tell you what, I would have to get Kelsey in the deal. I mean, all right. He says Damian Williams is RB2. Yeah, that's rough. I would go look at who's the other Patriots. You might want to take some flyers on these guys. Who's the other Patriots guy who longtime running back?
Brandon Bolden.
I might just grab a couple of these flyers. Bolden. Yeah, you might grab the guy from that we talked about earlier. Just grab some of these flyers that could turn out to be good, and a lot of the backups. And you might be able to. There's been so many injuries. You might be able just to fill in the gap there. All right, Rashad Bateman coming off of IR, or Brandon Cooks. Go Brandon Cooks. Who knows what's going to happen? Rashad Bateman, he's a rookie.
Right.
And it's not like he was.
We have no idea what we're going to get from him in an offense that doesn't typically throw that much, and the guys who they do throw to are fairly established. So no idea. Yeah, go with Cooks. I know he's had a couple of down weeks, but he could bounce back this week.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, Grumpy HD. But yeah, I think I'd just go with Cooks. Noah Drontel, what's going on, Noah? Should I start Javonte Williams? Yes. Or Zach Moss? I think I'd probably go with Javonte Williams. Who are they playing each other?
No. Moss and the Buffalo is playing. Who are they playing?
We just talked about who they're playing. Oh,
they're playing Tennessee. Yeah, I would actually.
Did you play Moss?
He's getting fairly that's tough. That's actually kind of tough. I would maybe go Javonte because Gordon's a little more banged up and they're playing a weaker run defense. But that's kind of
that is tough though. If you can play them both, one in the one in your flex somehow, flex out like a Tony or something. I don't know. Would you trade Marquis Brown for AJ Brown? Man, that is tough. I don't think I would at this point. Marquis Brown just is hot right now. Mm-hmm. You could get more than AJ Brown, it feels like, right?
Yeah, I think I think there's this idea that AJ Brown is going to bounce back, but again, it's a different situation than last year. The offensive coordinator's gone. They've added in Julio Jones. Not that that's made a difference. Really, it's not about Julio. It's just about the offense not being very productive. And I'm not sure how long it's going to take them to figure it out or if they will. So, no, I would keep Brown. I think the Ravens are going to have to throw the ball more this year because of their absence of running backs. And he's, in his third year, he's breaking out. I would keep him.
Yeah, I agree. Who would you flex? Brown, AJ Brown, Marquis Brown, AJ Brown, Meyer, or Tony? I would flex Marquis Brown.
Yeah, I wouldn't get super complicated with that. I mean, Tony's interesting, but
maybe Tony.
But Marquis is, the number one. Well, he's the number one wide receiver option. Mark Andrews, week to week, might be more of some weeks more than the passing option, but.
And who are they playing? Marquis will be playing against
the Chargers. That's the only thing. That's my only hesitation is it's a tough matchup.
Yeah.
But
it's not like Tony's playing like a real easy one.
Right. Yeah. They got the Rams. And so that's bad too. So
yeah, I'd probably just stick with Marquis to get like a long bomb. You might just get double digits just from one play.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Claypool? We already talked about this. I think both of us kind of are interested in maybe even trying trade for him. I think you more than me. I'm a little worried about that whole offense in general, and not extremely happy with Big Ben throwing to him, Claypool. That is. So I think he could get him cheap though, right? Because he hasn't had that great of the last couple of weeks.
Right. Yeah, I traded somebody for him, and it wasn't a big trade. So yeah,
go out and get him. Yeah, or start playing him. Shahan says, "Thank you. You're welcome. I hope we help." All right, the last couple two, and then we got to go. Amari Cooper, Adam Thielen, AJ Brown, Chase Claypool. I feel like we already have this one, except Amari Cooper's. Okay, this is new. I think Adam Thielen has a big bounce back. I don't know what to think about Cooper, but to me, it's between Chase Claypool and Amari Cooper. What do you think?
So he needs 3.
Oh, he needs 3.
So I just cross AJ Brown off this list.
Easy. Sorry, I wasn't reading right.
And again, this could be the week he breaks out. I don't know, but I think you've got to stop banking on it being that week.
Collins, Herbert, Jamal Williams, or Gordon this week. I guess we're talking about Khalil Herbert.
Yeah.
I'd go Khalil Herbert, actually. I think he's going to have a ton of carries.
I would too.
All right. And then last one, what about Damian Harris and Tony for Josh Jacobs? Yeah, I'd do that.
I like that. I don't know exactly what Harris is. I don't know what Harris is. outlook looks like for the rest of the season in the Patriots offense. You never do. And I like Tony, but if you're running back needy, I think Josh Jacobs, at least you can bank on the fact that he's going to be the starter if he's healthy. And he's maybe a little bit touchdown dependent, but in a year with all these injuries and everything else, I would be willing to do that.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us, and thank you, Jared. Hope you have a good rest of the week and good fantasy production tomorrow.
I had a good week last week. I've had a lot of weeks of around 500, and then I went like 15-5 last week or something.
Nice.
So if I can do 500 most weeks and then break out a few weeks for
keep that going,
for some wins without having a really down week, then
Well, and a lot of your trades are coming to fruition this week, right? You're going to get some more. James Robinson, right?
Well, I haven't traded for him lately. I because now the word's out on him. I was getting him after that first one big week that he had, and then since then that's paid off because he's had he's been 3 straight weeks of like 20 plus points. So really happy with my James Robinson trades.
Okay.
And hopefully he'll keep it up.
Last quick question. He slipped it in. Since this is your only question, Ryan, AJ Green, rest of the season. I don't know. I have no idea. I like him. I think he'll have decent production. In
a deeper league, maybe, but the Cardinals. That's another thing we didn't really get to. We can touch on it real quick. Is the Cardinals traded for Zach Ertz?
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
And so so you're adding Zach Ertz to an offense where you've got Kyler throwing the ball and running the ball. You've got DeAndre Hopkins. You've got AJ Green. You've got Rondale Moore. You've got Christian Kirk. You've got 2 running backs in Chase Edmonds and James Conner. I just don't think there's just enough. Even DeAndre, I think, is going to stay limited most of the season. So unless we're talking about Kyler Murray, I'm just not sure you're going to get a whole lot of blow up games from any of these guys because the Cardinals have so many options and a pretty solid defense. So,
and I wouldn't be surprised if Green is one of the first to go as far as injuries go. I mean, he's always been an injured type, and he's not getting younger, So, I might go with what's his name? I always forget. It starts with R. Ramondre or Moore? No,
Rondale.
Moore. What's his name? Rondale
Moore.
Yeah, Rondale Moore. Yeah. I'd go with him instead of Green. All right, well, guys, we're gonna take off. Thank you, Jared. We'll see you guys later.
All right, see you.